Hello everyone, welcome back to Bullet Journaling with Eve. Today I have an exciting video for you, some ideas that you can use as habit trackers, and I will show you how to draw all of those ideas. So let's go straight into it. As you can see, I'm now using my bullet journal by Notebook Therapy. And this one is called Constellation Edition, and I'm using this one for some extra ideas. So, not my usual journal that I'm using every single day, but this one is the one where we are focusing on some different ideas. Materials. You will need a pencil, eraser, ruler, and a compass just for one habit tracker, and then some point liners. I am using this Ohuhu alcohol marker just to add some details and to show you how I am using these trackers. Also, you can use these trackers not only as a habit tracker but as mood trackers, and I will start by writing down the title. So we are going to focus on habit trackers. First of all, my personal favorite. And these trackers are just simple small calendars. Calendars where you are able to see days and find some patterns that you have in your habits. How do I draw my calendars? I will show you this for all of those trackers based on March, because this is the next month and you can include them in your bullet journal. I will first count 7 spaces that will represent 7 days. Then I will count how many whole weeks are in the month. So, for the March, there are 4 whole weeks and then 2 days that are at the start of this month, and also one more day at the end of March. That's Monday. So, it's not included in the last week, and I will include that in the first row so I save some space here. Then you can also write down dates that can help you with decreasing the level of mistakes. So if you're not sure that you counted every single box right, then you can also write those dates. Then I'm going to take my Unipin point liner in size 0.4 and outline all the calendars. Now it's easier for me to draw all of those 3 calendars that are in the same row at once, because now I know that my calendar is 3.5 centimeters wide. I also know that at the beginning I have one day that is at the beginning in the first row, and the same goes for the last 2 days. As you can see, you would be able to draw more than those 3 calendars at once because you will do the same outlines. Then I will erase my pencil sketches and take my 0.05 Unipin point liner to draw all those boxes. Of course, you can skip this part and just add dots as days, or you can even write down numbers for each day and skip this part completely. But I like those small calendars that you can use, so this is why I'm still doing this. And as I mentioned, you can do this for all the calendars that are above or under those that you have here. So, if you have more than 3 habits that you want to track every single month, then you can draw those calendars all at once. And this is something that I'm usually not showing in my videos because it takes time to draw just calendars, and I don't find it that interesting, and I don't think that you will enjoy it. And now I will show you how I fill in my calendars. I will just tick it off if I'm done with that habit or draw a cross. I'm usually using a cross for a habit that I skipped, but you can also circle it out, or You can use those crosses for habits that you are done with. Then, if you have, for example, some habit that you need to do more than once a day, you can use a color to mark that you did it more than once, etc. So, you can do it with the same color, just go over it. For example, you have a face routine in the morning and in the evening, and if you go over that color more than once, then that color is going to be more vibrant. Here you can see my habit trackers of August and also of September. So you can see how I use those. Then you can also add dots that will represent when you did that habit. It's up to you how you will do it and how you will use your habit tracker. But those are just some ideas of how you can use those calendars as your habit tracker. Then I'm going to show you one that is horizontal. First of all, I'm going to separate this into two lines. I'm going to measure 8 centimeters because that space between two dots is 0.5 centimeters, and I need 8 of those because I'm going to do this in 2 rows. But you can also do this in 3 rows, and you will add 5 centimeters. And then with my 0.4 Unipin point liner, I am going to outline everything. You will just draw a rectangle inside of which you will have space that is dedicated to days and space that is dedicated to the name of your habit. How you will name your habits? You will write that down on the right. And then I'm using my 0.05 Unipin point liner, and again I am creating boxes for each day. I'm creating 16 boxes, and that will make 32 days. Here you can see a habit tracker that I used in February, and it has this style. Then you will just tick if your habit is done or draw an X if your habit is done or skipped. You have your system, so just apply your system here. Again, if you have something that you need to do more than once, then you can use colors for that. You can use the same color and go over it, or you can also use different colors. For example, yellow, orange and red if you did it 3 times. This is good because you can have more habits on that page and it is not going to take a lot of space. And I also want to share with you some different types of this layout, or another way you can do this habit tracker as well. You can also just write down the habit and then dots for each day, or even you can do it in a way where you will write the habit and then write dates for each of these. And as you can see, now you're able to squeeze in a little bit more, and you will have more habits on one page. If you have a lot of habits that you want to track, or you want to include this also on some separate or different spread, and you want to save some space, this is how you can track your habits. Then I have some unusual trackers. For example, you can draw a flower and fill it in each day when you are done with that habit. This is something for decoration. Or here, as you can see, I used Christmas ornaments for my habits. Then you can also, for example, draw a jar, and inside of it you can add coins or color them in when you are done with that habit. Or you can just draw a jar and then add dots when you are done with that habit. Also, you can draw hexagons, and those are good for when you have a honeycomb, as you can see here. This is also a really interesting thing. Next one. This one will take me a lot of time to draw because now we are going to draw a table where you can see all of your habits at once. Let me show you how you can do it. The first column will contain dates, and then you can also use icons to represent your habits. Here you can see how I had this in my April bullet journal setup. This one is good because you have all of your habits side by side and you can see which days are better or worse and maybe find patterns. For example, I found out that on Fridays I'm always too lazy to do those simple tasks. This is something that can really help you, but you can also do it with calendars. You can write down all the habits at the top, so you don't need to include icons if you don't want to. Then you will just mark when you are done with your habit on that day. Because this is not as easily readable, I will add lines where weekends are so that it's easier for me to navigate the table. You can skip this part if you want to. Now I realized that I used an Ohuhu alcohol marker and I have some bleed through on my second page. But let's just continue and ignore those lines that are still visible. This is a type of tracker that I always wanted to include in my bullet journal, but I never had the inspiration to fill it in. This is a puzzle habit tracker, and you can fill it in different ways. First, you can draw the whole puzzle and then draw an image that will be on that puzzle. Then color in one part of puzzle each day when you complete the habit. Or you can do it in a way where you draw a puzzle piece each day when you complete the habit. In the end, you will see how many pieces you didn't include, which represent how many times you skipped the habit. You can also use this for tasks that you want to track for longer than 30 days. This one would be for 81 days. Now, let's focus on the last habit tracker. This one will require a compass. First, find the center of your page and draw as many circles as you have habits. As you can see, I am doing it right now. This one is much easier if you have a compass that allows you to attach your point liner. For example, here I have this habit tracker and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Here, I didn't have a compass to draw the lines, so they are a little wiggly. The first two lines are really easy to find. Now, you have your circle divided in 4 halves. Next, you will divide each section in half by measuring the length of the section and using the compass to mark the midpoint. You will repeat this process 4 times until you have 32 parts in your circle that you can use for your habits. Now I will speed up this process a little bit. As you can see, this part is really sped up and designing this habit tracker will take a lot of time, but it will look great. If you want to save time, you can also print this out, but I think it looks better when drawn. Here I included 4 habits, and I'm going to write down habits as icons that you can include. So, for example, as drinking water, eating an apple, brushing teeth, or even reading. Then you will color in each day when you complete that habit. Again, you can separate the sections or add a bold line after your weekends so that it's easier to navigate this habit tracker. You can decorate inside or outside of the circle, it's up to you. You can even use that space to write down habit tracker. Now let's look back what we have created together. We should have 7 different trackers. The first one, the second one with lines, some different types of trackers, then a table. The next one is puzzle tracker, and the last one is the circle tracker. So yes, 7 in total. Let me know down below in the comments which one you preferred the most and which one you are going to use in your March bullet journal setup. My absolute favorite, I think, is almost always calendars and those line trackers, but I really want to use this puzzle one in the future. I hope you will see this in some of the next videos that we create together. I hope you find this video helpful and you got a lot of inspiration and that you learned something. See you in the next one. Bye!